Three service guys from 3 states come together to tear down 3 washers. Here is what they said.
All right, we got them back down. So can you guys show me what the difference is between the suspension on these 2 machines since we got the fronts off?
Well, you got a solid frame. Everything's built from the ground up. You've got massive springs here that keep the tub from moving around too much. There is an out of balance switch just in case somebody puts too heavy of a load in and it does shake. So the out of balance switch will shut the machine off. Compared to these suspension rods, look at that, look at that.
The actual balancing effect of this is so superior that it's absolutely night and day. I mean, I got real springs sitting on a tripod, and if anybody remembers the Maytag Dependable Care where that lasted 40 and 50 years and everybody just loved it, this is still the same concept that was built back in the 70s and probably into the 60s and brought even forward today because it's tried and true, where this is a brand new design. Can you go out of balance quickly.
It's the same with the GE. GE doesn't have the removable front panel, so it's a little bit harder to get at the components.
The motion's still the same. It's no different than the residential line. I mean, this is far from a Speed Queen killer.
So guys, I was able to get the lid pulled on this one so you can kind of take a look inside, and like we knew, it's got the 4 suspension rods and everything that are braced up on top. A couple of things right off the bat that I really do not like about the unit is when lifting the lid, there is no way to support the top when you flip it back. I was able to roll a cart up to it just to kind of hold it for now.
I mean, you don't even have a disconnect to remove it. Nope. To be able to access it. This is very difficult to service.
Pretty basic setup underneath here as far as the machine goes, and yeah, you can get a good look at...
and look at how flimsy it is.
Pull those all the way out, yeah.
All right, so we've got this thing down and we can see everything that's here now. Talk to me about the difference between the parts that are metal, the parts that are plastic, and the significance of the choices that are made in these various designs.
For the suspension system that hold the tub, I brought 2 of them up for an example. You can see they are different colors, so one is stronger than the other. So it is important to pay attention when you're taking stuff apart to know which ones go where. That way it will balance out properly.
And the suspension rods are right here. And they are all the same. They're not different colors. And they do appear to be a little bit stronger than the GEs, but no comparison to the Speed Queen. And this is very similar, almost identical to the residential side. There's no plastic here, guys. This is all steel. This is actual metal. This is very thick. It's extraordinarily heavy.
Let's not forget the brick of concrete strapped to the milk stool on the Speed Queen as like a counterbalance.
It is. It's the counterbalance to the motor. So that's going to give it that additional weight to counterbalance the motor assembly. So when it goes into the high-speed spin, go for it. Now on these, it's going to make a world of difference, especially when these little suspension rods go bad.
So yeah, this is one of the springs that attaches the tub to the base of the Speed Queen versus a damper from a GE.
Same on the Maytag, 4 of the dampers.
Can you guys talk to me about the tripod suspension system that we see here versus the 4-point vertical suspension that we saw in the other 2 models?
That is utilizing the solid base for a structure. This is utilizing the cabinet with the gussets at each corner for support. So it's kind of a weaker design.
The difference is just night and day. I mean, we're bolting down the tub as opposed to little bitty screws here. When it's agitating, the whole tub is flexing and turning, which puts extreme stress on these little bitty dampers, where we don't have that with the Speed Queen.
And then this was another pretty key component that we haven't talked about yet. So this actually sits down underneath the milk stool. rides right out on the bottom like that. So as it is spinning and you have the motion of the milk stool, this just allows it to slide on the base, so you don't have like a metal on metal grinding noise, and it allows it to balance out at the spin and agitation a little better. Just
Well,
it allows for the movement.
And to put that into perspective, I've got 4 of these in all 4 corners, and I've got this in the center holding the weight. Which one do you want?